Welcome to the Workamper Show, a podcast devoted to helping you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. I'm Steve Anderson, the president of Workamper News. Each one of our episodes will either introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to opportunities to work short-term jobs. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
Thank you, Steve. We've all heard the old saying that you're as young as you feel. Today we're going to talk with a woman who started RVing and work camping when she was 73 years old. This episode is sponsored by the National RV Training Academy in Athens, Texas. The Academy's one-week live training or home study course will teach you everything you need to know to fix about 80% of the problems people have with their RVs. You can also sign up for additional training to become an RV inspector, campground technician, or to provide mobile RV service. For more information, visit www.nrvta.com. Barbara Alpher has enjoyed camping much of her life, but always intense. When her mother and son were both gone in 2013, she made a decision that changed her life. She bought a travel trailer and hit the road seeking adventure. The remarkable thing about that is that Barbara was 73 years old at the time. She's going to spend this winter in southwest Arizona working at a wildlife refuge where she staffs the visitor center, answering questions about the 118,000-acre refuge. Barbara also talks about other types of jobs she has worked, including a stint at Amazon. She's got some advice for older folks who don't think they could ever RV by themselves. And Barbara describes how she overcame the challenges of having a hip replacement while she was on the road and how she deals with the residual effect of enduring a dropped foot. She has learned to look for specific perks with potential jobs to make her life easier while traveling. She also has some advice for work campers to make the most of their jobs and their experiences. To tell us how she traded stuff for experiences, please welcome Barbara Alpher to the show. Thanks for joining us today, Barbara. I really appreciate you taking the time. How long have you been RVing?
I'm into my 7th year. It's hard to believe, but
Seventh
7
year.
years.
Wow. That is pretty good. And how long have you been work camping? That entire time?
For the entire time. I've taken a couple of very short breaks to help a family member, but other than that, it's been all work camping in all different parts of the United States.
That's the best part about this, isn't it? The ability to travel and really experience RVing and America. I mean, you just get into a place and you stay there for a couple of months. You immerse yourself into that culture, don't you?
Exactly. And that's pretty much the way I go about it. I figure out what part of the country I'd like to see next, and then I start looking in that area and stay long enough that I can use my days off to get around and see what's there.
Okay. And what are your favorite parts of the country that you've been to?
Oh, my goodness. I always say my favorite part is where I am at the moment. And it's just, I can't get over it. That it seems amazing to me that I've been on the road 7 years and every experience has been terrific. And I have loved every area of the country. I guess if I were to pick, let's see. Northern Wisconsin and the Black Hills of South Dakota. I guess those two might. But, I've liked every place I've been.
That's neat. And where are you from originally?
Mexico, New York.
Mexico, New York.
Yes.
Where is that?
A little village on the east end of Lake Ontario up toward the Canadian border. Very cold country.
Very good. And now you are far away from cold country.
I thought so.
You thought so?
We've had some cold weather lately. Not like where I grew up, though. That's true.
You're down in Tucson right now.
We're about an hour and a half southwest of Tucson.
Okay. And how long have you been there?
I've been here 2 months. It's the Buenos Aires National Wildlife Refuge, and it's about 118,000 acres. It's a big place.
Wow.
First time I've been at a wildlife refuge, and I'm really enjoying it.
What kind of wildlife call it their home?
The masked bobwhite quail is one that was extinct and is coming back and is beginning to do well. The pronghorn, which a lot of people call antelope, but it's not really an antelope. That's another one that was extinct here, and now they've brought it back, and it's doing well. There's a falcon. When you think about it, almost everything in this area was extinct because of a combination of way overgrazing and a long drought period.
Okay.
So it just wiped this place clean, and pretty much everything here died.
This massive wildlife refuge then gives these animals and birds an opportunity to flourish by being protected from any outside influences.
That's right.
Very good. How'd you find this job?
Well, this one I actually got by word of mouth. A couple that I worked with last summer at Libby Dam in northwestern Montana, they were coming back here for their third winter, really liked it, and encouraged me to apply. And I did, and here I am.
And here you are. What kind of jobs do you do during the day?
Mine is working in the visitor center. So I've been with this other couple all over the refuge so that I can get to know it and know the back roads and see the campsites. And because when I'm in the visitor center, I'm answering people's questions.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose I have a lot of questions.
Usually, yep.
Mm-hmm. Does that mean you have to be a people person for this type of job?
Yeah, for mine, you really do.
Okay.
Most of the jobs that I have are people person jobs.
What, did you have a career before you started RVing?
I did.
And what did you do?
I was a psychotherapist.
Okay, that's a people person job.
Yep, sure is.
Mm-hmm. So what attracted you to work camping?
Well, it's funny. I was in a house finally by myself. My mom and I had lived together for 10 years. My son had been with us. They were both gone. And I kept walking around the house saying, if I left here, I'd get rid of that, or I'd get rid of that. About 10% of the time I was saying I would keep that. And one day I just stopped right in the middle of the living room and said, I'm sitting here being custodian to stuff I don't even care about anymore. And you know how synergy works.
Right.
About a week later, I met someone who was work camping. I'd never heard of it. And she gave me a little old newsprint type magazine. It's Workamper News, but it was an old copy. Boy, I got on the web. That was in August. I saw that there was the rendezvous in October, and I said, I'm going. And right then I called, I made the reservation, I registered for the rendezvous. By the time I got finished with those 3 days, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I had a timeline. Boy, I came back. There was no second thoughts. It was like, this is for me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do this.
So you
got my house on the...
You got your house on the market and took care of that?
Got my house on the market, put it out. Oh, this is funny, too. Steve had said in the interview, somebody was whining, well, the market's terrible, and what if I can't sell my house? He said, look, my experience has been anybody who's committed, their house sells.
Mm-hmm.
I put my house on the market in March. By noon, it had sold.
By noon?
And I emailed Steve. I said, wow, I heard what you said, but I didn't think you meant that quick.
Mm-hmm. That's neat. Now, do you RV by yourself?
I do.
And you've done that the whole time. Now, there's a lot of solo women who are out RVing and work camping.
It's great. Yep. It's a good lifestyle.
I think there are a lot of women who would love to do what you do, but they're kind of fearful about being alone on the road. Do you have any advice for them?
Sure. Because people, every time I said what I was going to do, they'd say, oh, you're so brave, or aren't you scared? Or, I've never been scared, and I've never had a bit of trouble. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. I travel all over the country, and I simply have never had a bit of trouble. Now, here's another thing. If somebody is feeling fearful, that's something you can get over. Once you get out there, it's always hard getting going. It's a little nerve-wracking. Especially I had never pulled anything in my life until I went on the road. And I didn't, here's the thing too. A lot of older women would say to me, "Oh, I'm too old to do that." And I'll say, "How old are you?" "Oh, I'm 69. Well, I didn't even get going until I was 73. So I just say, look, if you want to do it, do it. Your age is not important. It's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. What type of RV do you have?
I have a 25-foot Airstream Safari. I did a lot of research because I didn't know anything about camping in something like this. I had only tent camped. And so I wanted to get something that was as problem-free as possible. And the Airstream is it. Casitas are another one that's really, really good. There are a few out there. This is not the only one, but it has been perfect for me. It's my little home on wheels. You know what I call it?
What's that?
I say, my knight in shining armor has come.
Your knight in shining armor.
It's my NIGHTINN.
That's funny. So, what do you like most about the work camping and RVing experience?
Well, it's sort of a group of things I like most. It's seeing the country, being able to enjoy an area of the country for a period of time because it's an economical lifestyle. My site is provided. Meeting people in different areas of the country, that has been very interesting, and I try to get to know a few local people everywhere I go. I have library cards all the way across the country because libraries are a wonderful place to meet people. And it's the freedom. Boy, it's hard to put it into one element because it's really a group of things. It's the lifestyle. What I love is the lifestyle. That would summarize it.
It's much more laid back. And it sure beats sitting in an apartment wondering what you're going to do that day.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you faced any challenges on the road?
I have. I had a hip replacement, and the hip is great, but in the course of the surgery, evidently a nerve got damaged, and I ended up with a dropped foot. So I'm a walker. I love walking, and I, did a lot of walking and hiking, and so suddenly walking is a challenge. I can do it, and I do it, but, when I stopped to think about it, I just thought, why would that stop me? I've seen people on the road work camping with wheelchairs, with oxygen tanks. I mean, you name it. So what's a dropped foot? I just would go on with my life.
Mm-hmm. So it didn't stop you at all?
No, I just signed up for my next thing. I let them know, I didn't want to walk in but I had worked mostly in visitor centers since. I used to work outdoors a lot more. So, it's really not a hindrance.
When you had the hip problem, you were already on the road? That had to have taken a couple of weeks to recover. What did you do during that?
I went to Virginia. I had worked for a couple there in a campground in Virginia. And they had asked me to come back because they wanted to go to a conference, and it made me feel good. They said we would feel confident going if you were in the office. So, and it was right near where my sons were. So I said, terrific, I'll get to see my sons again. Well, the hip got so bad that I really had to have the hip replacement. And then I just went back and I worked in the campground. I took a month to, you know, the hip healed so quickly, I couldn't believe it. That was not a problem. It was just getting used to the drop foot and dealing with it. But I went back and worked for them for another 6 months and then went on my way.
What is a drop foot?
A drop foot is where the foot is not functional. The brain doesn't connect with the foot. The nerve is damaged in the leg, and the signal is not going from the brain to the foot. So the foot's sort of like having a wooden foot. It just...
Okay. That's a good explanation.
Yeah, it's just a clunker.
I wonder if a lot of people have you even heard of a program called Escapees Care?
Yes.
Yes, and a lot of people who are full-time RVers who have problems like this and need to rehabilitate for a couple of weeks or even a couple of months can go to their center in Livingston, Texas, where they have nursing care provided and you live in your RV. How convenient is that?
You know, and I had even visited there, and for some reason, maybe because my sons were both in the D.C. area, it never even occurred to me to go there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a wonderful facility.
I should probably do a podcast on those guys someday.
Yes. And that was, boy, Kay Peterson and her husband Joe, their vision was so much ahead of their time, you know, all the way through. They're the ones that said, hey, those folks that are with us, they're going to need help at some point.
That's right. And what do you do when you have an RV and you've sold your house and there's no place to go? It's a great idea. So, in your current job, what kind of tasks? Did I ask you that? What kind of tasks do you do?
I've done a lot. You did ask, and mostly what I answered was visitor centers because that's been the recent last couple of years. But I also, for instance, at Goliad State Park in Texas, which is a wonderful, wonderful park. It took me 3 winters, but if anybody goes to that park, tell them the lady who painted the signs says hello. Because virtually every sign in that park I painted.
Really? That's neat.
Yep.
So what are the typical jobs you've done at other...
What's that?
What are the typical jobs you've done on your other assignments?
I have worked in the campgrounds, like a campground host, you know, checking fire pits and taking care of bathrooms and things like that. In fact, on my awesome application, one of the lines that I have is, unafraid of cleaning toilets.
Unafraid of cleaning toilets. That's great.
Yeah. But I haven't had to do that too much. And every place I've been, I go either with national, state, here's my favorite one, doing interpretation, like at San Antonio Missions National Historical Park. We had a wonderful training, and then we led tours of the missions, and mine was Mission Concepcion. And that's a fun thing. Just you learn a lot. It's like cram learning, you know, just reading, which is what I'm doing here now, too, because this is all new to me. And I read everything I can possibly find and work out ideas, and mostly from typically asked questions. Most places have a list of things like that. So that when people come in, you know, I can fill them in. If they're interested in more depth, I know where to guide them to go for that, whether it's to a person on the site or whether it's to books or a video or whatever. And let's see, what else have I done? Interpretation, campground hosting, visitor centers. Oh, in a little Airstream park on the Florida Panhandle. There I did a little bit of everything. I kept track of the whole campground, picked up branches, I checked the propane and water levels, and kept the clubhouse clean so that when they had a rally, it was ready. And then I helped with the rally and the cooking and a little bit of everything in that park.
Okay.
Does that sort of give you an idea?
Absolutely. What are some of the perks you
Mystic
get?
Springs Cove. That's Mystic Springs Cove.
Okay.
Beautiful little park.
What are some of the perks you get to enjoy as a work camper?
I always look for ones that have full hookup, because some of them don't. Some have partial, but I don't apply for them unless they have a full hookup. Very often, like here, I get free propane. Sometimes you get a discount. Sometimes you get your own. But here, that's a real boon. Some places, like here, we have potlucks, which is really nice because then I get to cook something and not have to eat it for an entire week. You know?
Right.
Yeah, and that's fun when there's something like that, when there's a place communally that you can get to know each other. Here there's a community house. Oh, and one of the biggest ones that I look for is if laundry facilities are included, because that can be a real job. You know, if you have to go all the way into town and spend a day or half a day at the laundromat. So that's another one.
Do you prefer the places that you work? Are they more remote, or that's what you are attracted to most primarily?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Are these paid jobs, or do you just get your site compensated?
Most of them have been just the site compensated. That's because most of them are state national parks and like that. However, I've worked in a couple of campgrounds where if you work extra hours, they pay you for those extra hours, which is really nice because then not only is my living free with the full hookup, but the extra cash pays for some of the gas and food. One Christmas I worked at Amazon.com for their Christmas rush. They have the camper force. That was very well paid, and I totally enjoyed it.
In your 70s?
Yeah.
How could you keep up with that pace? My goodness.
That was before the hip replacement.
I heard they hustle over there, but that was a good assignment?
Oh, they do. I totally enjoyed it. And I was a picker. I walked literally for 9.5 hours a night.
My goodness.
Yeah. And it was like being inside a beehive, and all the worker bees know exactly what they're doing, and it was so much fun seeing the inside of that operation. Yeah, they were very good to us.
I had the opportunity to tour an Amazon warehouse in the North Dallas area a couple of years ago, and it blew my mind in how all of the functions, like you mentioned, just seemed to work together. But it seemed to be moving at a really quick pace. Very quick.
Uh-huh. For us work campers, they didn't push us. We didn't, all of us tried our best. And they had this little blue strip which went across the scanner that we were holding it told us where to go and what to do, what to pick up, whatever. And when I realized that the reason for that little blue strip going across there was you were to try to, if you were an employee, to work to get to the next site and be with that product before that blue thing got all the way across. Well, they didn't make us do that, but that became a challenge.
Sure.
And as we got talking about it, we were all saying the same thing, it's kind of fun if you can get to beat that thing.
That's it. You get into that rhythm, and I'm sure that's easier. Makes the job easier anyway.
Yeah.
After your current position ends, what do you plan to do next?
I don't know yet. I have applications in to a couple of places, but we'll see. I just haven't decided.
Are there any parts of the country that remain on your bucket list?
Oh, yeah. I would like to get up to Oregon and Washington.
Beautiful.
And that's one of the areas I'm looking at. I would like another paid job. Simply, I don't need it to live on, but I've had a lot of work done on my Airstream lately. Just, it's my home, so maintenance. And on my truck. I have the same truck and same Airstream that I've had the whole time. A lot of people change over time, but I really like what I've got. But I'd like to replace some of that money in my savings account. So, I have the opportunity to do that if I want to.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I don't know.
It's nice to have that kind of option. When you said that you
It is.
repair your RV and things like that, do you have any problems in getting maintenance on the road?
A little bit, but I haven't had much need. So, and it's so weird. It's like whenever something happens, it falls into place. Like this is going back to the second or third year. I came through some construction in Oklahoma, got to Texas, right over the Texas border, and bam, I had a blowout on my truck. Obviously had gone over something. Fortunately, there was a wide shoulder. I pulled over. A man runs up from a store down below and said, "Boy, I heard that. Looks like you're going to need help." Then another man pulls in. He said, "I was going the other way, and I saw what happened." He said, "I'm a full-time work camper, too, and I probably have the kind of jack you need." He had this huge, enormous jack. He didn't have his camper with him. He was just in a truck. And then I had already called Good Sam, so that guy came, and the three of them had that tire off there. I didn't even have to unhook the camper because of the jack that man had. And before you could blink an eye, I was back on the road, and they told me where to go and spend the night, because right across the street was a Toyota place, and tomorrow you can just swing around there and get your tire repaired. And I thought, wow.
That's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
As a solo RVer, do you have problems or challenges in backing up or hooking up your travel trailer to your truck?
I have a list, step by step, on my iPhone, and I always go over that list of what to do, hooking and unhooking, because I just, it's not natural to me. I didn't grow up with this kind of stuff. So that has been terrific. So, I've occasionally had a problem, but nothing huge. And backing up, this is the funniest thing. I'm always looking for opportunities to practice, but invariably, as a woman, when I pull in, some man runs up and says, "Oh, can I help you?" So, yeah, if they really want to, great. But I have backed up. Sometimes I have to try 8 or 10 times, but I can do it. It takes going into Zen mode and just say, "Okay, relax, ease into it. You can do it."
Mm-hmm. That's great advice, Barbara. Is there any other advice that you would give to people who are considering becoming a work camper?
Yeah, just go into it with fun. And I think the thing that I have found most helpful, and everywhere that I've been, people appreciate it. On my awesome application, again, I have this thing about, I'm doing this temporarily. You know your organization, you know what you need and how you want things done. I will do what you want to the best of my ability because I'm only temporary. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I go at it. I go in, I find out what do you need, what do you want, how do you want it done, and then I do it their way.
That's got to save a lot of stress, I would imagine.
Yeah. I've seen people come in and make major changes. And I'm thinking, what, are they nuts?
And they're leaving in 3 months.
And it causes big problems.
Mm-hmm.
And usually they end up leaving because, it's just, you're not there to change the world. You're there in exchange for your site, which is terrific, and an economical lifestyle and seeing a new part of the world or country or whatever. You're there for a short time to help out as best you can.
That's great advice. And age makes no difference. You can be in
No.
your 70s and out here enjoying this lifestyle.
Yep. And last summer, when I was up at Libby Dam, the volunteer coordinator said, because they have student interns who are terrific, college students, really terrific. But she said, I like having an older person at the desk to try to really, it keeps everything calmer.
That's neat. Well, Barbara, I really appreciate you taking time to talk to us today about your experience. It sounds like you have a lot of fun on the road.
Oh, thank you for including me. I do. I just, people, when I first sold my house, said, in a year you're going to be so sorry you sold that house. I've never been sorry. I've never looked back. I just love this lifestyle.
Do you ever see yourself coming off the road?
Well, I'm going to keep going as long as I can.
Good for you.
If I get to the point where I think, I really should, as they say, hang up the keys, then I'll figure out where to go. But what I probably will do is find a place to park my Airstream.
Mm-hmm.
And still live in it because, I live in basically 87 square feet and it's perfect. I don't ever want a house or a big space again.
Once you adopt that minimalist lifestyle, you don't regret it. It is liberating not to have to worry about all that stuff.
Oh, people would say, how can you get rid of all your stuff? I'm telling you, I tell them I traded stuff for experiences.
Yes.
And it was the best trade-off in the world.
Mm-hmm.
The more I got rid of, the more liberated I felt. And even now, if I bring something in, something goes out. Even if it's a pair of slacks, I get a new pair, one pair goes.
That's great, Barbara. Well, thank you again. I appreciate the time, and I wish you the best of luck in 2020.
Thanks for including me.
Barbara Alpher is an inspiration. She has such a positive approach to life and the challenges she faced that I can't help but be encouraged by her story. The idea that she opted to replace stuff with experiences says a lot about her priorities and her mission. The fact she is traveling by herself, hauling a recreation vehicle all over the nation is inspiring enough, but to start doing that at age 73 is truly remarkable. She plans her journeys by determining where she wants to go next, and then looking for jobs to support her when she arrives. Many times it is the experience, not the money, that drives her decisions. Barbara has made a lot of friends not only among work campers but also with local residents wherever she settles for a while. She keeps her mind sharp by reading and visiting libraries in every community she stays. Even with health challenges and typical RV problems like tire blowouts, it hasn't dampened Barbara's enthusiasm for the RV lifestyle and work camping. She's always found the help she needed to continue her journey. Barbara still has items she would like to check off of her bucket list, and that's the type of life I'd like to live 2 decades from now when I'm knocking on the door to 80 years of age. Barbara Alpher has done more in her 70s than most people do during their entire lives, so don't let age stop you from pursuing your dreams. Whether it is running a business from your RV or working short-term jobs for a variety of employers, Workamper News can give you information to help you plan a course to live your own dream and get you on the road faster than you thought possible. For more information about opportunities to live, work, and play in your RV, visit www.workampernews.com. This episode was sponsored by the National RV Training Academy in Athens, Texas. The Academy's 1-week live training or home study course will teach you everything you need to know to fix about 80% of the problems people experience with their RVs. You can also sign up for additional training to become an RV inspector, campground technician, or to provide mobile RV service. For more information, visit www.nrvta.com. That's all we have for today's show. Next time we'll feature a few more interviews with employers who participated in this year's Workamper Rendezvous. They'll talk about jobs waiting for you on your next adventure. Thanks for listening to The Workamper Show.